What's up, guys? It is August 17th, 2017. I am officially finished with PA school as of last week. Um, Sorry I couldn't get you any videos in the meantime. And apologize for my appearance. I was in the gym just now, just got home, and I was in the gym thinking I haven't put out a video in a while. And it's one thing that I didn't have time to do while I was in PA school was hit the gym. So I'm trying to catch up on that, get back in shape. Um, so right now I'm in the process of studying for my boards. I take my board exam in 2 weeks, and that's where I'm at right now. Um, Also in the midst of choosing a job. Um, so most of you guys right now, it's about mid August, and some of you guys are about to start your first year of PA school. Some of you are still applying or about to go on interviews, or some of you are trying to choose which PA program is best for you. So um, I wanted to make this video. Hopefully it's short, not too long. A lot of times I just start babbling on about things, but when it comes to choosing a PA program, for me, I had a number of schools that I had on a list. I applied to 10 different schools, and I had my number one school, which happened to be in my home state, and it was a highly ranked school. So obviously, it was my number one school that I wanted to go to. Um, and when it comes to the whole ranking thing, um, I'm not really 100% sure what goes into the rankings of a PA program, but I'm assuming it's the quality of education as far as the instruction and the faculty, the quality of the curriculum, also the if it has a high rate of passing of the board exams, um, also if it's a well-established school that's been around for a while, it goes up in the rankings that way. So with me being a self-learner, and this is just someone who's already been through a PA program already, my opinion on choosing a school or PA program. If you're worried about ranking of a school, it's um, and I'm a self-learner, so usually I'll listen to the lectures, and when there's a test coming up, I'll go home and I'll study the material on my own, or I'll learn the material on my own, or relearn it using different sources, whether it be the internet, whether it be books, the notes from lecture, various sources. So, I could have the best faculty or teacher give a lecture, and I'm still going to have to go home and relearn that material anyways, even if it's the worst lecturer. And I've had a number of both throughout the program. So um, I go home and I learn the material on my own anyways. So if you're worried about the quality of instruction when it comes to choosing a program, they can only do so much, but the rest is really up to you on how you actually go about learning and retaining all the material anyway. Um, so that's one thing to kind of keep in mind. Don't get too caught up on if it's the best quality of instruction and different things like that, because it really comes down to you. Um, so with me, when I went to choose a program, I got accepted early on into a school that was in my home state. It wasn't my number one. It was another school that was in my state that had accepted me. I went on their interview, and actually 3 hours later, um, they called me and said I got in. And that is pretty rare in most programs. This was a kind of a new program. This program's been around for, I'm not really sure, maybe 4 or 5 years, if that. And that's considered a fairly new program. They're still trying to learn things as they go. Um, each and every year. Every year's an adventure, and they're trying to figure it out until they really have a good foundation as they gain experience with their body of students. So that's the whole thing about new programs. So I interviewed pretty early on, probably about it was in August, I remember, that I interviewed at this school, and they called me after 3 hours, and it was the first school that accepted me. So I was thrilled. I wasn't sure if I was going to get into any other schools, and this is the school once the first school that said that they want me, and they feel like I'd be a good addition to their program. So you have to give a deposit to hold your spot, and they usually give you about a couple weeks to do that. Their deposit was $750, quite a bit of money for somebody who's you know I think I was working then, but it's quite a bit of a lot of money for somebody who's about to go into not working for a couple years in a PA program. So most schools usually about $500, some maybe three. 750 is quite a bit, but I've seen it in a couple of schools. So I had a couple weeks to decide. It's the only school. Obviously, I'm going to take it. But there's still other schools that I have interviews for. My my opinion on that is give the deposit. You're gonna have to bite the bullet and take a loss, but you want to think, worst case scenario, and no other schools are going to accept you. If that's the only school that's going to accept you, you have a spot being held for you. So I gave the 750 bucks. And yeah, so that's what happened. A couple months later, though, I get a letter from that school saying that their accreditation is being reviewed, possibly on probation, and some things that has to be looked at from another higher power or whatever. Their accreditation was going to be reviewed over the next, I don't know what period of time, but they're like, don't worry, you're still going to get your PA. You're going to just don't worry. And here I am, thinking, wow, this doesn't seem right. So that kind of put something in my mind, like I don't know if this is a good thing for me. um, Luckily I got into another school, which I did, the school that I actually graduated from. And I had a friend that goes there. And one thing, if you happen to know any friends that are in any PA programs, that's good. Try to, if you happen to, because he suggested that school that I should go to. He put in a good word for me, and I think that really helped out with me being accepted into the program. Um, so luckily I had that school, and it was a little bit more established school. They were higher ranked. They were in New York City. So it was just a number of things that kind of led me to go with that school. Um, and later on, I probably could have got that deposit back from the first school only because of that letter. But those people were so nice to me. They're extremely nice. When I explained to them that I was just going to choose another school, they were very supportive. They were telling me good luck, and um, I just didn't want to. That's just the kind of person I am. I just wanted to part ways with them in a nice manner. So that's what happened with me as far as choosing the program that I did. Um, I really recommend, when you go about choosing your program, and this is again from experience, um, choose a program that you feel like you will be working at, or the state that you feel like you're going to be working in. Because when you get to your clinical years, you're going to go on all these different rotations, and more than likely they're going to be in the state that that your school is at. And if you're going to be working there later on, you have so many different opportunities to impress people, to get job offers, to kind of get an idea of what it's like to work at these places or the kind of people that are working there. Me, I didn't plan on working in New York after I finished PA school. I went to school there, but I didn't plan on working there. It just was, it's too expensive of a state. Um, it's just very crowded. It's just different. It's just my opinion. It's just from my experience. A lot of people love New York. I do love New York, but I just can't see myself working there. I'll probably get licensed to work there just in case something comes along that's close to um, where I'm at. But um, the I'm at a disadvantage because I'm not working because I plan on working in New York. When I go to another state, I'm not going to know what it's like to work in wherever I apply or interview at for a job. And, I'm just not going to know until I actually take that job and start working there. And at that point, it's just going to, if I don't happen to like working there, it's going to be complicated after. So when you pick a program, and that's probably my number one thing, is just pick a program where you feel you're going to be working at. Now, other people, other students in my program, they came from California, they came from Colorado, Florida, so I'm not really sure their whole reasoning, but that's just from my experience. Um, so really, you don't know anything else. And also, this is probably something that has to do with studying for before you start PA program, and that's probably what I'll probably make another video on that later. But um, a lot of people are asked, what do I do before I start the program? Well, should I be reading this? Should I be studying that? Um, Again, from experience, this is just me. Don't do any kind of studying before you actually start PA school. You're gonna get a whole bunch of things to study once you start, and you're gonna forget all that stuff anyways that you tried to study before you started. So enjoy your time off while you can, which is what I'm doing now. I know I have my board exam in a couple weeks, and then I still have some time before the licensing goes through. Then I'm going to be working in a couple months, and that'll be my career. And I have all this time off now that I'm just going to be enjoying, and I suggest you do that as well before you actually start PA school, because it's no joke. Okay. Enjoy your free time while you can, and in the end of it all, you will be very enthralled, if that's a word, and you will feel highly rewarded that you finished and you got through it all, and you feel very proud of yourself. So again, thanks for listening. Again, subscribe if you haven't. If anything else comes to mind, I'll make another short video again. I try to make them short, but at least under 10 minutes, but I couldn't do it this time. But next time, I'll try.